Number 12, Luciana Casal. Number 20, Vanessa Diaz. Number 22, Sophia Pagan. Fort Lee is coached by Bill Straub. Let's play ball.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside East Gymnasium here on the campus of Fort Lee High School. As today, we have a Big North American Division showdown between the visiting Dumont Huskies, 2-1 on the season. They have come calling to take on the Fort Lee Bridgemen, who are 2-2 overall this season. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us here on these Fort Lee Athletic broadcasts brought to you courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department here on YouTube. Last meeting in this rivalry between these two came last January 28th at Dumont. Dumont won 64-30, outscoring Fort Lee 39-20 in the second half alone. Late change to the starting lineup for Dumont as Kaylee McQuaid will get the start, number 24, instead of Sophia Mandalakis. So it's going to be Angeles, Haney's, Colleen, and Megan. Kaylee McQuaid and Kelsey Boyan. And for Fort Lee, Isabel Maloney. Sophia Pagan, who's doing the jump here. Catalina Gill, Luciana Casal, Vanessa Diaz. The starting five for Coach Bill Straub's side. Fort Lee coming off their best game of the season, a 59-21 win on the road against league rival Dwight Morrow. They're looking to start their season off with 2 wins in divisional play. First miss of the game went to Dumont. Now here comes Fort Lee the other way. Pagan with a high arcing shot. Caroms off the top of the backboard. The follow-up attempt inside by Maloney, no good. And the Huskies carve out the rebound. Looking to push it down the other way. Here comes Dumont up and under to lay it in. Megan Haney, the leading scorer for this team. For Dumont, who averages 10.7 points per game this season with the first 2 points of the game. 2-0 lead for Dumont. Pagan trying to outlet it to the far side wing. Intercepted here again goes Megan Haney. This time the layup a little too high as it went off her fingertips and could not be banked in time. 2-0 lead for Dumont. Fort Lee trying to get their first basket of the game themselves. Dumped it down low. Casal kicking it out. Thinking about the three was Gill. Gill got stripped of it, and another turnover for the Bridgemen. As Dumont was able to make the stop defensively. They get it down low quickly inside, blocked away. As Angeles was trying to set herself down low in the post. Good interior defense by Fort Lee. As Fort Lee will force the turnover and get the ball back themselves on offense. Here's Isabella Maloney. And it's going to be a timeout given to Fort Lee. As Fort Lee calling a quick timeout here, trying to save possession with 6:14 left to go in our first quarter of play. As I mentioned in the last game for Fort Lee, they defeated Dwight Morrow 59-21. It was their first game since they played back on December 21st against Mahwah. They had a long break. Their tournament at Pascack Valley was canceled, and the Bridgemen were able to then bounce back after having some time off, get some practices under their belt, and strike for their season best 59 points of the win on the road against Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee and Cliffside Park each picking up wins in their league openers. Dumont, this is their league opener to begin this season. The Huskies were outstanding a season ago, going 7-1 in their shortened season. Their only loss coming against Riverdale. Huskies finished a perfect 3-0 in the Big North American Division. Casal, elbow jumper, off the mark. Saving that one in play is Maloney. Extra possession here for Fort Lee. Here's Maloney in the corner for the three. Caroms off the front rim, no good. But good hustle play there by Catalina Gill to steal it right back. Possession back to the Bridgemen. Fort Lee in their home white, Dumont defending in their road gray, and another turnover. This time picked up, her pivot foot was Catalina Gill. Kind of got caught in between whether or not to pass it or hold on to the dribble. She couldn't do both as it leads to a turnover. Dumont attacking now in this side of the floor on offense. There's Megan Haney, her 3 off the mark. She's got the lone basket in this game. Offensive rebound saved, and now the Huskies moving around the perimeter. Here's a long distance 3, and that's going to be knocked down. 3-pointer knocked down by Colleen Haney. Haney had 14 points and a pair of 3-pointers to go along with 6 rebounds in the win against Westwood. And there goes Colleen Haney the other way. She's got 5 straight points. And Dumont races out to a 7-0 lead with 3 minutes left to go, or 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Fort Lee trying to get on the board here. Maloney is dispossessed, and there a collision ensues as she bangs into Dumont's player. They're going to say that's just a clean hustle play, and its last touch off of Dumont, so possession going back to Fort Lee. As Pagan will get it back into the backcourt for Gill. Gill again picks up her dribble. She gets the double team coming to her. Getting it to Pagan. Pagan trying to get out of trouble. Fort Lee breaking the pressure, but Casal just could not handle it cleanly as she was closest to the rim. As that'll go out of play for another Fort Lee turnover. Fort Lee playing only their second home game of the season. They open up the season back on December 17th here at East Gym against Riverdale. Were held to only 15 points in that loss against the Golden Hawks. Dumont still posting a shutout. Under 4.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Gill to Maloney in the near side corner. She's stacked up and stripped away. As Kaylee McQuaid, the 5'11 senior, making the defensive play. Here's McQuaid. Into the corner, back and around the elbow to McQuaid. Pagan anticipates. Here's Sophia Pagan the other way for the layup, and Fort Lee on the board. Sophia Pagan, who's coming off a big performance last time out, as she had a game-high 12 points for Fort Lee in their win against Dwight Morrow. As Dumont now trying to operate above the arc. Patient offense inside, and fouled in the act of shooting was Colleen Haney. And the 5'5 senior will head to the line to shoot a pair. Colleen Haney had 12 points against the Bridgemen, including 4 made 3-pointers in last year's win at Dumont. Already off to a hot start here today, as unlucky there on her first foul shot opportunity. Haney with 5 of Dumont's 7 points. Colleen, that is, as Megan Haney has the other 2. She goes 1 of 2 at the line, so Colleen Haney now with 6 points. Dumont extends their lead to 8-2. 3:20 and counting left to go in the quarter. There, Gill lost possession of the dribble. Another turnover plaguing Fort Lee here in the first quarter. They haven't been able to score because a lot of times they haven't even been able to attempt shots against Dumont's pressure defense so far in this first quarter. As the Huskies work it around, good ball movement. Colleen Haney with an extra pass. Now to Megan Haney in the near side wing, cutting on the baseline. McQuaid feeding inside, and that time Dumont just a little too unselfish, as they were trying to maneuver around inside, and that eventually leads to the travel falling backwards in the play. Dumont had some great unselfish looks, but then eventually led to the dribble and the travel, the extra step. Trying to find Casal, who was lurking on that far block, wide open. There's the open floor transition and the layup in the open floor by Dumont. Once again, it's Colleen Haney. Haney already having herself a day. 8 points here in the first quarter. 10-2 lead for Dumont as we approach the final 2 minutes of the first. And that pass airmailed from the near side to the far side by Pagan, who tried that skip pass. The Huskies in their last full season went 21-7, advancing to the quarterfinals of the North 1 Group 2 sectional playoffs before losing to Glen Rock. They've been the queens of the American Division for quite some time now, and it's been a tough challenge in the early goings here for Fort Lee. Gill doing a good job of blocking the shot. Now pulls up in transition. Her three was left short, though. And here's where Dumont is dangerous in the open floor. Megan Haney, cross-court pass to Kelsey Boyan. Give and go, trying to find Boyan inside. And it looks like it's going to be a tie-up and a foul whistled underneath the rim against Fort Lee. Pagan will pick up the personal foul. That is her first, team second. Dumont yet to foul as we're 91 seconds away from ending the first quarter of action. There's a pull-up jumper for three straight away from Colleen Haney, as Haney was trying to knock down her second made three of the first. Here's a skip pass over to the near side, and a pushing foul is going to be charged this time against Kelsey Boyan of Dumont. As she was fouling Vanessa Diaz underneath the rim. It's going to be the first Dumont foul of the quarter. And Pagan received the pass inside, but then shuffled her pivot foot. Got called for the travel. Again, she was just anticipating potential shot blocker coming right at her, and that little hesitation led to the travel. Fort Lee trying to pressure a little bit more on the outside. Now both teams trading turnovers in the last couple of possessions. As that pass is jettisoned out of bounds. And now Dumont will go to their bench. Kayla McClymont will come in, number 52. McClymont, a 6-foot senior center, comes in off the bench for Coach Dave Saplicki. And there's a floating shot in the finish there by Pagan. Pagan with all four of Fort Lee's points here in a low-scoring first quarter. 10-4 lead for Dumont. As once again, that's going to be a Husky turnover. So points certainly at a premium in this turnover-filled first quarter of play. But Fort Lee has pulled back to within only 6, 10-4. Now the deficit for the Bridgemen. Bacan with a double team coming to her. Getting it to Gill. Gill again thought about it briefly, takes the shot. It was contested. McClymont using her size inside to deflect, maybe even get a piece of that shot. Here's a long-range bomb, but it's a brick. Doesn't draw iron, as Megan Haney was trying to get that one up quickly. 4.6 seconds left to go in our first quarter. 10-4, still the lead for Dumont, as they start to extend the pressure to the full court. Vanessa Diaz. Time running out in the quarter. Will the Bridgemen get a shot off in time? No, they don't. Would not have counted it if it had gone in. And that'll end the first quarter of play. After one quarter, it's Dumont leading Fort Lee by a score of 10-4. You're watching Fort Lee girls basketball action, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department here on YouTube. Colleen Haney of Dumont leading all scorers in the game with a game-high 8 points in that first quarter of play, including her 6th made three-pointer of the season. As Dumont was in control from the start, Fort Lee getting both of their buckets courtesy of number 22, Sophia Pagan. Pagan, again, who's coming off a 12-point performance in the win against Dwight Morrow the last time out. But for both teams, they would love to clean things up a bit and cut down on the turnovers that have really led to a low-scoring first 8 minutes of action. Only 14 combined points between the two teams after the first quarter. As we get back to the thick of things in the start of the second quarter of play, Dan Long so glad that he could join us here courtside inside East Gymnasium. Second home game of the season for Fort Lee. They're 2-2 on the season. Dumont coming in 2-1. Dumont playing in their first league game of the season. Fort Lee trying to win their first 2 American Divisional games of the season. And that's going to be a turnover against Fort Lee. Might have been an over the back call. A backcourt violation against Catalina Gill, who's dribbling right near the midcourt stripe. Dumont missing the bank shot attempt inside, the follow-up attempt. And they're going to say a jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it with Dumont. As we're just underway, the start of the second quarter. So glad that you could join us. Courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. The give and go and the look inside and count the bucket. And the foul. Naomi Luca. The 6-foot senior, number 35, getting the bucket right off the inbounds pass and then weathered the contact, laid it up and in, and got the bucket to fall for Dumont. She misses the ensuing foul shot, though, so she'll settle for the 2. She had 12.6 rebounds and 4 blocks against Fort Lee a season ago. The senior dominance as she deflects it out of bounds as well. It'll stay here and be possession for the Bridgemen. As Fort Lee looking inbound, down by 8, 12-4. Inbounds pass leads to an outside shot. The 3 no good by Gill. She follows and hustles after her own miss and gets it into the hands of Casal, and now the offense continues to flow. Trying to dump it down low for Diaz, though. Passes off the mark as Luca getting that ball right back. She goes up with it and another bucket for number 35 in gray. 4 points now for Naomi Luca, and now the lead is 10. But Fort Lee gets a knockdown 3 by Olivia Hausman. The sophomore getting her first 3-pointer of the game off the bench for Coach Bill Straub. Fort Lee cuts that deficit down to 7. The give and go inside, no good. Again, just ripping it out of the hands of Fort Lee. Now possession arrow will favor the Bridgemen, but Naomi Luca has been dominant inside for Dumont, as she nearly had her 3rd consecutive made basket right off the bench. She did not start this game for Coach Saplicki, and she has been a force to be reckoned with since coming into this game. Diaz on the far side. She dribbled it off her leg last, and that'll be another miscue for Fort Lee. Drive and dish. Here's the kick out 3. Knockdown. Julia Angelis knocking down the 3-pointer. The 5'9" senior with her first triple of the game. She had 6 points against the Bridgemen last season. And they're going to say that Angelis had that rebound just on the far side underneath the hoop, but then stepped on the baseline, so it's going to be possession going back to Fort Lee. Intercepted, though, by Dumont. Here come the Huskies out in the open floor, leading to the left-hand layup by Megan Haney. Megan Haney had the first 2 points of the game. She gets her second made basket of the half. She's got 4, and Dumont extends its lead now to 19-7. Megan Haney picks the pocket of Gill and goes in for another layup attempt, this time with hands extended, incredulous that did not fall. Step back 3 by Maloney for Fort Lee, no good. Diaz with the offensive board. Now again to Maloney. Maloney sets and fires from deep, no good. Rebound inside by Luca. Colleen Haney inside to Angelis, and 1. Dumont is just simply beating Fort Lee down the floor, getting the opportunities for the transition layups. As Angelis now with 5 straight points in this game. After knocking down a triple a couple of possessions ago, now getting the transition layup with a chance at a 3-point play. And she does just that, swishing home the foul shot. She's the leading rebounder on this Dumont side, averaging just under 10 rebounds per game at 9.7 She averages 4.7 points per game, but already 6 straight points for the 5'9 senior. Largest lead of the game now, 22-7. Dumped down low for Fort Lee. That shot rushed by Roxanne Perez. Here comes Dumont down the floor the other way, and a foul as Megan Haney was going hard to the rim on the left side, trying to make amends after having that last layup attempt rattle in and out. And that'll send Megan Haney to the line for 2. As that's going to be a missed foul shot. Megan Haney had 10 points, 3 steals against Fort Lee last season. She goes 1 of 2 at the line. Now Megan Haney with 5 points in this first half of play. Colleen Haney with a game-high 8 points. Julia Angelis has chipped in 6 points in the second quarter alone. Fort Lee for another open 3, no good. Sophia Pagan, though, doing a great job inside. Just could not get it to fall, though. Trying to bank in that attempt on the right side of the lane. Angelis inside, draws the double team and got the pass to her teammate, but the layup again doesn't fall. That time it was Adam Milley, number 30, who went over the back after missing that layup attempt inside, and that'll be only the second team foul against Dumont so far here in the first half. 5 team fouls against Fort Lee in this first stanza of play. Pagan to the far side. Taking up the dribble. Looking for the outlet was Nadia Sango. Sango turns it over. Dumont down the other way. Quick offense here for the Huskies. That shot too long of a hoop, but it's going to be last touched out of bounds. Off a would-be Fort Lee rebounder underneath. Dumont unlucky with another layup attempt that had a lot of spin on it, that it went in and out of the hoop and did not fall down inside the rim. That goes out of play, and now it's going to be an inbound upcoming for Fort Lee. .340 and counting left to go here in the first half. Fort Lee in their second home game of the season, first league game here at home. And a misplay there on the far side by Hausman. She's frustrated as that went out of bounds, and it's going to be another Bridgman turnover. Fort Lee short-circuiting their opportunities on offense. Not even getting some shot opportunities up because possessions have ended first with a turnover. And eventually the ball movement finds the open shooter, Colleen Haney. Haney now with 11 points, leading scorer in this game for either team. Has her second made 3 of this game as well. As we're coming up on 3 minutes left to go here until halftime. Worked around, another 3 by Dumont, and this time the 3 is knocked out by Kelsey Boyan. Boyan now with 4 points. Dumont has made 3 3-pointers in the second quarter alone. Now Fort Lee trying to drop it off to the near side. As that pass is off the mark, will go out of bounds. Be another turnover as Dumont is having their way here in the first half. 29-7 the advantage. They led 10-4 after 1, but they have really jumped out to a significant lead here in the second quarter. Thanks in part to this ball movement around the perimeter. Eventually it pinballs its way inside, and it'll fall in for a layup. Kayla McClymount getting her first 2 points of the contest. 31-7 now the Dumont lead. Long range 3, no good Climb out, trying to get the clean rebound. It eventually caroms out to Colleen Haney. Outlets it down the floor, and then eventually it is brought home. Boyhan, another bucket here in the second quarter. She's got 5 of her 6 points in the quarter. As Dumont is really performing well here in their league opener in the 2021-2022 season. Last season's matchup, the Huskies knocked down 11 threes in the game. Again, you could see these skip passes against the defense against Fort Lee. They're leading to open shot opportunities. Pagan fumbling it initially, but now outlets it, gets it down, and Fort Lee tries their luck from 3. No good. Climb out with a skying rebound. Use that sure size advantage to secure the rebound. Colleen Haney off the dribble around the Fort Lee defense and lays it in. 13 points now in the game for number 44 in Cray. Fort Lee being held to only 3 points so far here in the second quarter. 55.9 seconds left to go until halftime. Gill will inbound it inside to Pagan. Pagan with a quick right-hand layup off the assist by Catalina Gill. Sophia Pagan now with 6 of Fort Lee's 9 points in the half. Boyhan. She's blistered by Pagan into a turnover. She gets called for the travel. Good hustle play there by Sophia Pagan of forcing that turnover in space. Now Fort Lee with a chance here. Try to score on back-to-back possessions just before the break. Pagan's pass deflected. Here's Gill. Back to Pagan. Drawing the defense of McQuaid. Pagan losing the dribble. Finds Casal at the foul line. Kick out, corner 3. Left short. Rebounded inside. Stolen away by Gill. Fort Lee looking for an outlet. Trying to get over to the near side, stolen away by Dumont. Here come the Huskies in the open floor. Boyhan getting over to the near side, the give and go, and the layup just before the buzzer by Kaylee McQuaid. That's emblematic of what that first half was like. Dumont, unselfish offense, and also a defense that has been swarming all first half long, leading to a transition bucket. That's what hurt Fort Lee so significantly in that second quarter, as Dumont will take control and will head into halftime with a large lead. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second half of play. You're watching Fort Lee girls basketball here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium, where we're moments away for the resumption of play in the start of the second half. And that first half absolutely owned by the visiting Huskies of Dumont, as they have raced themselves out to a 37-9 advantage over Fort Lee. This was only a 6-point game after the first quarter. It was a 10-4 lead for Dumont. Both teams were really struggling to get offensive opportunities because of countless number of turnovers between both teams. But Dumont sorted things out rather nicely in that second quarter, producing 27 points in the quarter while only allowing a grand total of 5 points by Fort Lee to stake themselves out to a dominant performance and lead here in the first half. They cut down on the turnovers. They forced the turnovers still for Fort Lee and got those transition hoops that led to easy 2-point buckets each and every time, and even started to knock down a couple of shots from the outside. And Fort Lee has still struggled mightily to try to find their offensive game. They did not have such troubles against Dwight Morrow in their last game, but here today it has been a hurdle to say the least, as they're going to be trying to fight their way back to begin this third quarter and fight back to within striking distance against Dumont in this second half of play. Again, for Dumont, this is their first league game of the season. After today's game, they will head back home for their next 4 opponents. They'll be playing host to Wayne Hills, Emerson, before getting back into league play in the Big North America Division by hosting Cliffside Park on January 11th, and then following up while hosting a fair against Dwight Morrow on January 13th. After this one, Fort Lee will hit the road, take on a fellow Big North opponent, but out of divisional play against Lakeland in Wanacue, and then they'll be back home here next week on January 11th against Ridgeville Park, a Big North American Division showdown, which will be their third league game of the season. Also have their rivalry showdown, the back-to-back showdowns against arch rival Cliffside Park next week on January 13th on the road at Cliffside Park, and then at home here next Saturday hosting Cliffside Park. So about to get underway to start this second half of play. Fort Lee in their home white uniforms. Dumont in their road gray and orange. Stripped on her way up inside. Fort Lee trying to tie it up, but they don't get the loose ball. Leads to a 3-shot to the near side and an offensive rebound underneath. Amanda Iavaroni getting the loose ball rebound. She's open underneath. Now a shot from the outside. Pagan trying to swallow up the rebound again. A carom into the hands of Dumont. Here come the Huskies the other way. Casal stripping it off of Luca Lass, and that's a good interior defensive move there by Luciana Casal of Fort Lee, getting the possession finally over to the Bridgemen after surviving a couple of would-be shot attempts to begin the second half by the Huskies. Again, Pagan just trying to do a little too much. Coach Straub motioning towards her to calm down. A couple times she has been swarmed by a double team and just airmailed the pass attempt to the far sideline. Maloney, good anticipation there with a cross-court steal. Maloney losing the dribble, though, on her way up, and unfortunately knocking it off her own leg last. It's going to be another turnover against Fort Lee. Inside, give and go, and Luca gets it to fall. Naomi Luca now with 6 points, getting the start to begin this second half of play. She has scored 6 points in this game. Here's Pagan across the lane. Wild one-hand shot, no good. Rebounded inside by Diaz. Diaz out to Casal. Casal with a baseline jumper, no good. Luca with a rebound, outlets it down the other way to Megan Haney. Good passing leads to an open set shot for 3. No good there by Megan Haney. Rebounded inside underneath by Maloney of Fort Lee. Joined on the broadcast here by Dimitri Nanis, and we are enjoying ourselves courtside yet again for the first time here in the new year. We were able to bring you all the sights and sounds of the 2021 Jack Riley Holiday Tournament right after Christmas time in the boys tournament, but this is only our second girls broadcast of the season. Inside for Pagan, and Pagan continues her work underneath. Pagan now with 8 of Fort Lee's 11 points in the game. Again, she scored 12 in the last game. A bucket away from double figures again as that goes out of bounds. And today we're joined by Nicole Pacciani, also on the broadcast, doing all the camera work. As we involve everybody in our broadcast this season, we have a deep roster at our disposal here for the Bridgman Athletic Department. This is going to be a pull-up three, and that three finally knocked down by Isabella Maloney. The senior at 8 points against Dwight Morrow in the last game gets her first 3 points of this game. Here's a three as an immediate response. No good. Good rebound underneath by Diaz. She outlets it down the other way. 5-0 run by Fort Lee. Here goes Pagan. Double team comes to Pagan, picks up her dribble, and she'll also be called for the travel. She begs the differ, thinking that she did not shuffle her feet that time. Here's Dumont immediately back the other way with a quick restart, as that's going to be deflected. Last touch out of bounds, and they're going to say it stays here with the Huskies. Dumont with the inbound, leading 39-14. It's coming up on 3 minutes gone by here in the third. Again, good ball move. It leads to the open three-point attempts. No good by Megan Haney, but tipped out again. It's all those little hustle plays that lead to the extra possessions. Inside the interior look. This time Luca couldn't draw the iron there. You can see how Dumont responds with their zone look, that they pressure out, especially when Pagan has the ball. Double team comes to her. Maloney, another three, no good. Try to go back-to-back and three-pointers made. Megan Haney into the corner. That was number 2, Luca Gianna Gregorio. Has come into the game for the first time. Here's Maloney trying to force feed that pass from the near side to the far side. Deflected last touch out of bounds off of Fort Lee. As we're coming up now on the midway point of the quarter. Still Dumont well in control here. The near side, a give-and-go attempt. Last touch out of bounds off of Fort Lee's Catalina Gill, as Kayla McQuaid was the intended target on the baseline for Dumont. As the Huskies will be inbounding underneath. Gill nearly with a steal. Here's going to be a turnaround three, but they're going to wave that one off. They're going to say a moving screen underneath against Dumont, so no good for the three-pointer. That was going to be knocked down by Colleen Haney. Dumont with 2 team fouls here in the second half, but they steal it right back. Working around, here's the three-pointer, no good. By Gian Gregorio. And Fort Lee will settle it down as they eventually make their way past the midcourt stripe. There's Gill. Pagan. Pagan looking into that near corner now. Trying to get it to Casal coming out of the post. Casal's pass intercepted. Knocked away by Dumont. And here come the Huskies the other way. Gian Gregorio reversing it. Colleen Haney defended nicely, though, by Maloney. Back to Colleen Haney. High post, working around, open shot. Good ball movement again. Leads to that open shot. Dumont has run cold here, though, in the third quarter. They've only scored 2 points. Fort Lee outscoring the Huskies so far in the third, 5-2. That's a dangerous pass, and that's intercepted, leading to the layup attempt the other way. But Dumont just missing it a little short. As the freshman Gian Gregorio could not get her first 2 points of the game. Kick out into the corner for Fort Lee from distance, and there's that wedgie ball that they call. Stuck into the side of the rim on the other side. As they'll have to dislodge that one before getting the ball back in play with 2:20 left to go here in the third quarter. Again, as they always say, you couldn't do that if you tried. As that was just a shot from the corner, and now they look to dislodge the ball. They do so, and Possession arrow will keep the ball here on that far side of the floor for Fort Lee. So it's going to be an inbounds upcoming for the Bridgemen. Casal driving past the defense, but then again tried to bounce that one low to her teammate. You almost want Casal just to go up with that shot attempt. Here's again a shot from the outside, no good. Offensive rebound underneath, though, by Kaylee McQuaid. As they work it around the perimeter now. Another open three for Dumont, no good. Angeles nearly came down with a one-hand rebound. Instead, Fort Lee breaks out the other way. There's Pagan in the open floor, and Sophia Pagan, an aggressive take to the rim, will draw the contact and will get 2 shots awarded to her with a chance. She knocks down both to enter into double digits in this game. 8 points in the game for Sophia Pagan. Pagan rattles in and out of the first foul shot attempt. Second foul shot is good for the junior. So Sophia Pagan with a game-high 9 points now for Fort Lee. Fort Lee continuing to play hard defense here in the third. Dumont scoring only 2 points. Hard contact as Pagan going over. Good sportsmanship there to check in and see if Colleen Haney's okay, as that'll be the first personal foul, or first team foul, I should say, against Fort Lee in the second half for Pagan. That is foul number 2 in the game. Pagan nearly trying to get that steal there. Does eventually lead to the turnover, though, for Dumont. As Amanda Ivaroni picking up the pivot foot and leading to the turnover. 39-15 the lead for Dumont, as Pagan asking for it right in front of her bench. Cross-court pass. This time links up on the baseline of Diaz, who tries to fit it down low to Casal. Good interior defense, though, from behind, forcing the turnover in favor of Dumont. Here come the Huskies out on the open floor. Give and go down low. Layup attempt no good, but a foul whistled underneath. So it looks like it's going to be Olivia Hausman who's going to be charged with a foul. Second team foul of the half for Fort Lee. Hausman will pick up her second personal foul as well. And that'll send Julia Angeles to the line, shooting 2. Angeles knocks down the first foul shot. She's got 7 now in the game. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks against the Bridgemen last season. And she was clean at the line again. She's 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. 8 points now for Julia Angeles. Dumont stealing it away now. Here we go. As the Huskies go down the other way, miss the layup after Ivaroni had the initial steal in the play. Good hustle in the corner, though, by Fort Lee. It's going to be last touched by Fort Lee, and it's going to be an inbounds upcoming now for Dumont. Quick 3 from straight away, no good. It caroms through the hands of a couple of Fort Lee defenders, though, so it's going to be an extra possession here in offense. Another 3-point attempt up top by Colleen Haney. Haney has knocked down 2 threes already in this game. Catalina Gill. Pass anticipated and knocked away by Colleen Haney. Down the other way, and it gets blocked out of bounds. So it's going to be staying here. Good recovery defense, though, by the Bridgemen. But again, offense being triggered off of the defensive play by Dumont. That's been the story of this game. Dumont trying to get out of trouble as they work it around the perimeter. Angeles, again, these skip passes, you could see the good fundamentals and the ball movement leading to the open shot. No good. Dumont has just run really cold here in this third quarter offensively. But the passing has been there. Fort Lee just has not been able to generate all that many opportunities to get the shots up. As they'll trail 41-15 heading into the fourth quarter of play. Fort Lee once again held to single digits in that quarter. They scored 6, but as fate would have it, they actually outscored Dumont in that quarter 6-4. So as we thought, the first quarter was a low-scoring affair, only 14 combined points. In that third quarter, 10 combined points put to the two teams. But the Huskies comfortably in front, 41-15, as they're trying to go to 3-1 on the season and also open up league play with a win here on the road at East Gymnasium. Dumont started off the season with a 2-point win on the road against Ramsey, then fell by 8 to Northern Highlands at home, 41-33. Defeated Westwood 45-37. But they have not been in play since the 21st. This is their first game, and they're not showing any signs of rust whatsoever. A dominant second quarter when they outscored Fort Lee 27-5. That's the difference in this one. Starting off the fourth quarter of play, Dan Long, so glad that he could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Our second varsity girls basketball broadcast of the new season. Here's a three by Hausman, no good. Hausman has the lone, or only one of 2 threes, I should say, in this game for the Bridgemen. Maloney has the other triple. Boyhan eventually finding down low inside, no good. Luca with the offensive rebound. Working around, here's a straightaway 3, that time canned by Megan Haney. Megan Haney finally knocks down that elusive first 3 of the game. She's got 8 in this contest. Cross-court pass. Again, when Fort Lee's been trying to do things like that each and every time, Dumont has been able to get their hands in the passing lanes and lead to deflections or clean steals. Again, Diaz lofted that pass that was easily intercepted by McQuaid. McQuaid with a step back jumper on the baseline, no good. Diaz with a rebound. 6:45 and counting left to go in regulation. Into the corner it goes to Maloney, but it's going to be another turnover there against Fort Lee on the travel. On the baseline, kicking away, straight away, another 3 for Dumont, no good. Racing after the rebound is Gina Keefe, number 40, who's coming into the game for the first time. She gets the offensive board. There's that ball movement again. From the high post, now getting it down low underneath. McQuaid kicking it out. Boyhan now for another 3. Caroms out to the near side, another rebound into the hands of Keefe. And that time driving inside the lane was Megan Haney. And Haney is tripped up on her way to the rim, as that'll be a foul on the floor, not in the act of shooting. Third team foul of the second half for Fort Lee. That foul will be charged against Vanessa Diaz, her first. Down low to Luca. Double team comes to her. Boyhan, cross court. Megan Haney, high archer, no good. Luca inside, offensive rebound, misses. Good interior defense by Casal, and finally secures the loose rebound. So Dumont, despite their dominance, has been held in check in the second half offensively. Fort Lee has done a nice job of forcing the long outside shots and those three-point shots that were falling at a high clip last season in the matchup, not doing as much so here today. As Fort Lee draws the contact, and that'll send Vanessa Diaz, the 5'4" senior guard, to the line, shooting 2. Diaz missing on that first foul shot attempt. Foul was charged against Gina Keefe, her first. Diaz goes 1 of 2 at the line and knocks in the foul shot for her first point of the afternoon. Fort Lee in the 2-3 zone look. Luca with a dribble across the lane and missed the layup though. Slaps her hands in frustration after the miss. The outlet is to Pagan. Here comes the double team to her. Houseman thought about Diaz possibly in the corner, elected better of it. Now Houseman gets stripped on her way up. That's going to lead to a breakout the other way and an easy layup down the other way now for Megan Haney. And Haney's around her per game average. Megan Haney, the 5'4 senior guard, number 13, with 10 in the game. Here's Casal inside. Casal missing the bunny. And another follow-up after the offensive rebound by Diaz. And that should send Diaz back to the charity stripe for 2 more. Where she's been 1 of 2 at the line so far here this afternoon. Again, in their next game, Fort Lee will travel to take on Lakeland before coming home to host Ridgefield Park. You'll be able to see that game on January 11th here at East Gymnasium against Ridgefield Park. And then it's back-to-back contests against arch rival Cliffside Park on the road on January 13th before coming home as part of a double dip of basketball here on January 15th. The girls' game followed by the boys' game against Garfield. You'll be able to see both here, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department on YouTube. So Diaz missing a pair at the foul line. Now Dumont attacking the other way off the miss. Another rebound on offense. As we are quickly approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter. A tie-up and possession arrow favoring the home side at Bridgman. So Fort Lee with the possession and the inbound upcoming. With 4:04 left to go here in the fourth quarter. On the baseline, that was a good feed there by Gill. Fort Lee just trying to handle it cleanly. They couldn't, but that was a good look. That was a good decision. As Gill saw diagonally open on that far side was Nadia Songo. Now Dumont operating in the offensive side of the floor. Keefe fitting that bounce pass within traffic. Player down, hurt on the baseline right now for Fort Lee, kind of out of the play. And now the official allowing for a timeout, an injury timeout, and hopefully everything's going to be okay for Roxanne Perez. Perez slowly limping her way to the Fort Lee sideline as she will check herself out and be looked at by the Fort Lee training staff here tonight. Off the inbounds and a steal by Casal. It just entered into the game for Perez. Now here's Pagan. Pagan with a nice feed to Diaz on the baseline. Diaz is fouled. So good floor vision there by Pagan, finding her teammate. And Vanessa Diaz will now have her opportunities at foul shots number 5 and 6 of this quarter. As she misses on that foul shot attempt. Misses a pair of foul shots again. So Diaz still with 1 in this game off the line. Turnover for Dumont. And now Fort Lee with a chance to try to pull closer. And again, another high pass from Pagan goes out of bounds. With 3:02 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Dumont in control here on the road. Dumont participating in North 1 Group 2 in the power points. They were 9th coming into today's action. Try to get into that top 8. You could host the first round game in the playoffs. Hard take inside. As Sophia Mandalakis will not be credited with a shot opportunity there, as I'm going to say it was a turnover in violation against Dumont. Now Pagan. Nice bounce pass, baseline jumper by Casal is good. Pagan with the assist. Luciana Casal with her first 2 points of the afternoon. Casal had 11 points against Dwight Morrow in the last game. She's the post presence for Fort Lee and a nice baseline jumper there. Inside, a turnaround shot, no good by Mandalakis. As that's going to be off of Dumont. Last goes out of bounds. And now it's going to be possession upcoming. As Fort Lee trying to operate here on offense. Trying to put back-to-back buckets together. Working around. Pagan backing up, reversing it to the far side, and again throwing that one away. Here's a step back three, no good. Frustration setting in for Megan Haney. She's knocked down only one. She has had countless number of wide open looks from three. Pagan will try her luck from distance, no good. Pagan a point away from double digits in this game. And there's the putback on offense by Vanessa Diaz. Diaz been solid here in the fourth quarter on the offensive glass. 3 points in the game now for number 20 in white. Here's Dumont with the ball movement. And just knocked away off of the hands of Julia Angelis last. Out of bounds for another turnover. Fort Lee with the inbounds upcoming with 1:06 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Sophia Pagan checking out, might be done for her for the game. 9 points for the junior Sophia Pagan, leading the way for the Bridgemen. Dumont forcing the turnover, and going down the other way is Megan Haney. Now Haney with 12 points, one behind Colleen Haney, who has 13, a game high. Ball loose on the deck. Dumont looking for an outlet. Maloney turns it over. Now into the waiting hands on the far side for Fort Lee. Nadia Sango getting the fortuitous bounce of the ball into her hands for the 2 points. Underneath, turnaround shot left short by Angelis. Ball loose and taken in by Diaz. Both teams with 7 points apiece here in the fourth quarter. Maloney inside to Casal. Casal powers her way up and in. Luciana Casal with all 4 of her points here in the last couple of minutes of this fourth quarter. So if anything that Coach Straub can build on getting into the next game for Fort Lee. Fort Lee did outscore Dumont in that second half, but it was all Huskies throughout. Final score here from East Gymnasium. Dumont victorious by a final score of 48-24. The Huskies with the win will improve to 3-1 on the season. With the defeat, Fort Lee will fall to 2-3. Fort Lee was led by the 9 points of Sophia Pagan. And Luciana Casal, the second leading scorer with 4 points, all in the fourth quarter of play. So Fort Lee will move now to 1-1 in the Big North American Division this season, while Dumont will pick up their first league win of the year. Join us for our next broadcast of Fort Lee girls basketball action on January 11th, as the Bridgemen will play host to Ridgefield Park. Game time slated for a 4:15 start time. So thank you again, fans, for joining us for another edition of Fort Lee girls basketball here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. For my producer, Dimitri Nanis, and our camera operator, Nicole Pacciani, I'm Dan Long saying so long from Fort Lee. Take care, everybody.